Morning folks, it's weekend, so I thought it's time for another game. So I'm going to try this week, just go over here and try the Germans, my Germans. And what we've got there is two warbands, two 32-man warbands, some light infantry and a subgeneral with some cavalry. And we've got the middle, we've got the CNC. Two more warbands, some more light infantry, and another subgeneral. So each subgeneral has got their own warbands. Now these are medium infantry Germanic tribesmen, circa sort of what we're talking 115 BC. And over this side, well, that's the rules we're using, 7th edition, with our amendments, measuring stick and a 3 dice. Over this side we've got some Celts, Celtic infantry, or Gallic infantry, sorry, not Celts. Subgeneral with cavalry. Got some more warband here with some more light infantry. There's a CNC. And another warband, light infantry, and a subgeneral. So there we go, I've just come out a bit. That's the battlefield, sorry about the lights, that's the best I can do. It's basically 6 foot by 4 foot, 4 foot wide, 6 foot long. So I'll get sorted out and get ready and set up for the next, or the first move. Right, so now we set up, I'll just put the measuring stick here. What we do is we set up 240 paces in. But it doesn't matter if these are a bit further forward, we'll just knock that off of their move. The same with the Germans over here. We start at 240 paces, so I'll just knock off the light infantry. And then what we do, we go through, we've got the march moves first. There's obviously right orders. Orders will probably be attack, as this is a solo game. Dice for interpretations, arrivals, there's none of that. Approaches, which is the normal moving, obviously no normal moving. Counters and retirements, none of those. So the first thing we have is march moves. This is broken down into 5 segments. Light cavalry get 5, so they would go first, then light infantry and heavy cavalry, then down to regulars get 3 moves, irregulars get 2 moves, and something gets 1 move, I can't remember. What is it? Oh, it's some of the artillery and those sort of things. So what we'll do, I'll dice to, normally this would be simultaneous movement, but I'll dice to see who goes first. So let's see who moves first. Is it the Germans or is it the Celts? We'll roll for the Germans. Germans roll a 6. Celts roll a 2. So the Germans will move first. Yep, they have to move first, so I'll sort that out and come back to you. Right, so that's the Germans. They've moved 240 paces, that's the stick, from the edge of the, as he's pointing out, from the edge of the table, they've moved 240 paces maximum, so the heavy cavalry and the light infantry have moved there, moved 4. So I'm now going to do the same with the Celts. They're going to, I think, what we call bump these, yep, because I don't think I'm going to get the 240 paces. So I'll make that move and then come back to you. Right, so that's the Celts have moved, or the Gallic troops have moved. They've moved up, not quite into 240 paces there, so they haven't had to stop, but then again they started further back. The light infantry here have bumped the Germans, so they've stopped. They're at a fixed 240 paces, and over on this flank we're slightly short of the 240, not a problem. So that's a march move for number 4. We would then have number 3 march moves, which would be the irregulars, so I'll just get that sorted and come back to you. Right, let's move the Gallics up because these are loose orders, so they move on a 3. So they move slightly faster, and I've tidied up the cavalry and the light infantry. They're now at 240 paces. Everybody's there, 240. The cavalry here. There's loose order. They're not light infantry. I moved those by mistake, but there we go. It makes sense. It didn't stop anybody. So we've got march move number 2 now. So we did our 4s over here. We did our 4s. Then did our 3s. Our 2s will be close order. I'll now move the Germans who are in close order. Right, that's the Germans moved up. The Germanic warbands, 2 warbands there, and 2 warbands here have moved up behind the light infantry. So everybody has gone through their first move. What else have we got? Marches, prep shooting. There's no shooting. No declarations, combats, rally back, staff moves. No need for any staff moves. That is the end of the march phase for Bound 1. Nothing more to be done, so that's how the battlefield looks. If I can pan out enough, yeah. That's where we've got to, lining up Celts and Germanics and Celts and Germanics. So right, let's have a look and see what I want to do. Right, move 2. I think we're going to need to see who goes first, so let's roll a dice. We'll roll for the Germans. That's a 3, and for the Gallic is a 1. So the Germans will move first. Right, I'll work out what's what and come back to you. Right, so everybody's moved. So the light infantry and loose order troops move 120 paces, which is 3 of those. I've got 40, 40, 40, so 120. They move 120, but the close order Germans only move 80 paces. So they're obviously falling slightly behind, but that's just the way it goes. The cavalry have moved up to 160 paces away, within charge distance. Obviously that's why they've done that. Yeah, the light infantry there have moved. Let's just checked on that. So I think it's now over to the Gallics to have a look what they're going to do. That's all the German movement. As you can see, I can't see anything else that I can do with the Germans. No. Okay, I'll sort out the Gallics now. Okay, that's the Gallics have moved. So what we've done here, the cavalry moves slightly closer. The light infantry have moved 40 paces and gone into skirmish order, so they can throw their javelins. These guys didn't go, the Germans didn't go into skirmish order, so they cannot throw their javelins at the distance marked. The Gallics here advanced 40 paces and expanded by, what did they expand by, 1 element or 2 elements, I can't remember. They've expanded there. In the middle, these guys have expanded 1 element and wheeled 40 paces, being, oops, that far, yes. Same again here with the light infantry. The Gallics have gone forward 40 paces, gone into skirmish order, which is marked by just turning the figures around, representing them running backwards and forwards, throwing javelins. And they're at 80 paces. Again, the Germanics, because they made a full move, didn't go into skirmish order, so we'll be throwing javelins. And over here we've got an expansion, so we expanded 1 element and moved 40 paces. The cavalry have slightly moved up. This will cover the infantry. I assume it's going to be cavalry on cavalry battle. That'll stop the Germans attacking the infantry. So there we go. That's all the movement. Yep, and next is going to be the shooting. Right, so it is shooting next. We've done the marches, sorry, the approaches, counters and retirements, no counters, no retirements, no marches, and it's now prep shooting. So let's have a look. What have we got? It's only the Gallic shooting at the moment, yeah. So we've got the 2 units. So the first unit, Gallics, roll Yeah, that's +1 on the dice. And the second unit here, Gallics on the Germans. And that's down 1 on the dice. Now these are a regular C, so they count a full plus and a full minus. I'll just work that out. Okay, over here of this side, so we've got it's only 12 light infantry, but in skirmish order, so that's half effect. So that's javelin, and it's against other light infantry is a basic 1 +1 2. So we have 6 of 2. This is going to 12. That is 1 CPF or 1 casualty per figure. So I'll just write that down. The German ally take 1 CPF. Oh, now over here, because we rolled a minus for the Gallics. So again, basic factor 1, 12 at 1, but half because it's skirmish order and long range. So that is 6 at 1, 6 at 0, which is 6, and that's half the casualty on the Germans. Right, I'll just sort that all out. Okay, that's written those down. So we've got half a casualty per figure on this unit, and a full casualty per figure on that unit. So let's pick up the dice. I think next we're going to be is decorations, declarations, but we like to call them decorations because we're weird. Okay, I think it's obviously the cavalry are going to charging each other, sub-general with each unit, so that makes sense. Again, this is not normally how it would be done, but with a solo game you have to kind of balance out each side what you think might happen. So I think we'll have 2 charges there, irregular Bs, general in the front rank, flanks are secure, no enemy behind flanks, so that's going to be impetuous charge there and an impetuous charge there. And at this flank, exactly the same thing again, impetuous charges. Let's think. The light infantry could charge. I'm not sure whether they'd want to at the moment. Let's have a think. Yeah, let's have a charge. Yeah, we'll charge. So the German infantry will charge the Gallic, and the same over here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So okay, so these will be an impetuous. Let's think. Flanks to kitchen. Yep, could be an impetuous charge, but it would be a waste because I think with the Gallics being in skirmish order, they're just going to run away. So don't waste your impetuosity. I think this is the thing to do. Right, I'll get the measurements all sorted out for that. And come back here. Right, so what's happened here is the light infantry, the Gallic light infantry were in skirmish order. They've just run back behind their the warband, and it's left the Germanic infantry here, and on this flank similar thing has happened. They've charged and the Gallics have run back behind the warband, but they were non-impetuous, so they failed to make contact. They can rally back, so let's just see how far they go back. Roll the dice for that. 5, oh, they go back the full 120, and this unit, roll 2. They only go back 80 paces, that's right. So 120 here, 80 paces there. I'll just do that moving. Right, there we go. That's a rally back. This is why you make them non-impetuous. If had they been impetuous, they'd have had to stay on the spot, and then the next bound, the warband would have just shot the crap out of them and charged them and possibly caught them. Same thing here. They would have shot, it would have destroyed them, so it's better to rally back. They may still get shot up, but there we are. Now the cavalry are in combat, so we're going to work out the combats. CNC furthest forward is the Germans, I think. Oh god, can't quite work out. So 120. Oh, that's right, his right. So we start over here. It's irregular, so we'll let's do the Gallics first. The Gallics roll a down. Oops, didn't do it. See that? It's not really showing up. That's a 4 and a 3, so that's a down 1. Ooh, not good. But again, B class could negate one of a minus, and the subgeneral could negate a minus, so that's an even roll. The Germans coming in. The Germans roll a +1. That's a 4. I think shows up. Yeah, is it? Yeah. Oops. So the Germans are going to win that. I'll just work that all out and come back to you. Right, that's worked out the combat there. We had a plus with the Germans and a minus with the Gallics, which is negated to a 0. So the Germans were 6 the front rank, half the rear rank. That's 9 at factor 7. And 9 and 7 is 54. That's 54 on the Gallic. 12s into 54 is 4. The impetuously charged, which gives them another fatigue. So we've got 4 fatigues for casualties and 1 fatigue for the impetuous. That makes them 5 fatigues. 5 fatigues, they are tired, so they're pushback tired. What did the Gallics do on the Germans? They rolled down, but this is got rid of B class and a subgeneral. So that was 9 at 6. Again, 6 in the front rank, half the rear rank. 9 at 6 is, what's that, 45. That's 3 fatigues, 1 for the impetuous charge, gives them 4 fatigues, so the Germans are not tired. The cavalry will be pushed back 40 paces. There we go. And the Germans will follow up. Obviously, no real room to expand. They could expand on this flank. Yeah, I think they could do. Yeah, I think I would try and get the benefit. No point expanding on that flank, because then you're going to get charged by the Gallic infantry. I think that's what I would be doing. So that's where we are. No rooms for the Gallic cavalry to expand, push back, so they can't expand. Right, that's that one. So let's go over to the other side. Now where the combat's in the middle. So this side over here, we have the same thing again. Germanics, they rolled. Oh my goodness, that's a +4. That's it. And for the Gallic cavalry, come on girls, you can do it. Oh, +1. See, right, I'll work those out and come back to you. Right, let's work that out, and it's not good news for one side. Okay, so the Germans, as you saw, rolled a +4. That gives them 9 at 10, or 9 at more. And 9 at 10 is 108 casualties on the Gallics. Ouch, that's not good. That's 9 fatigues plus the impetuous charge. Gives them 10 fatigues, so they're now tied and disordered. On the Germans, the Gallics did 9 at 7 because they did roll a +1. 9 at 7 is 54, so that's 4 fatigues on the German cavalry, and the impetuous charge gives them 5 fatigues. They're tired and disordered. But, oh dear, the Germans did 108 to the Gallics 54, which is twice as many, 108 to 54, twice as many, and 3 CPFs. That's a rout. So the Gallic cavalry are routed. So let's just put a marker down. So we've got a rout here, and we've got these as disordered. And I think I'll get some more markers while I'm about it on this side. So we've got a disorder there, and we need another disorder if I can find them. Perhaps I can't. Oh, and a disorder here for the. So they're pushback disordered. They're following up disordered, and we've got a route there. Now that means waiver tests. Oh dear, oh dear. And we've got a test for being a broken unit and a test for the subgeneral. He's broken as well, so let's have a look. Let's test the warband first. Come on girls, you need a big roll. 3. I'll just go and check that out, because that might not be good. That's on the edge. It turns out, he said with his measuring stick, that 3 is just enough. They need the 3 to pass. No enemy behind the flanks. They are testing for a rout, which is the reason they're testing. No other minuses. but they now need to test for the general. So we'll roll for the general. Gold, that's a 1. That means they are shaken because they're general. Yeah, that's a shaken marker against that unit. Now we test for the light infantry. They will also need a 3. The reason we're testing is because it's within 120 paces, so they can see it. So test for the light infantry. 1. They failed on the dice roll. And 1 again. And my dice are as good as last week. So that goes to shaken and then to rout. So the light infantry rout. The good news is nobody cares. Nobody cares about light infantry. It's sad. So they will rout and no one will test. And they'll merrily rout away. So I'll get that all sorted out. There's the route marker in the movement. Okay, so that's basically the end of the bound, isn't it? Got some moving to sort out. The routes, yeah, it's just a route basically. So we'll sort those 2 routes out and I'll come back to you. Right, that's made the route move for the light infantry. The light infantry, they've run back 120. The cavalry have gone back 160. That's a fixed move with those. Now let's see, do the Germans keep in contact? So we'll now have to see. Yep, they do keep in contact. That's a plus. So that takes them up. 3, 4 would be normal. If they're on 1 or 2, they would have gone down to 120 in broken contact. 5 and a 6 means they stay in contact. So there we go. That's the end of the bound. Yeah, so they're disordered, but it's the end of the bound. There we go. End of that move. Nothing more to be done. Everyone's done everything they wanted to do. Say over here, we've got both units disordered, but the Gallics have been pushed back. Okay, right. I think that's the end of that bound. We look around where we are and work out what I'm going to do next. It looks like we're going to be on to bound 3 next. Okay, so yeah, at the end of the bound, just forgot what I've done is I've moved the general. He was just there, so in staff moves he's moved to rally these guys, which he would do. The shaken, then he'd rallying. It should be okay. He needs to stay with them for a whole bound to rally them. Right, so that's the end of that bound. Okay, we're now on to bound 3 or move 3, so let's dice and see who goes first. For the Germanics, they roll a 5. For the Gallics, they roll a 4. So Germans go first again. Right, I'll just sort that out and come back to you. Right, so the German warbands have moved forward 40 paces and expanded. They have an 80 pace move, but if they expand or perform for the functions, they only move 40 paces. So that's those. The light infantry can't move this bound because they obviously rallied back last bound. So here they rallied back and they rallied back not quite as far. No problem. So it's now over to the Gallic infantry. Cavalry, there's nothing going on because they're all involved in combats and routes. So I'll now sort out the Gallic movement. Okay, look through the factors. It's not worth the Gallic infantry charging in to support the Gallic heavy cavalry because they can't charge the flank, and if they turn they're not behind the flank of the Germans, so there's no flank charge, and they've also got to worry about the Germanics who will be up within another move. If they charge frontally, they take on the same disorder, so they would become disordered. That would save the cavalry, but then the Germans' next bound would be fighting disordered foot, which is not good for the foot. And again, with the Germans coming up, the infantry likely to be charging disordered foot, so that's not good. So wisely, I think the Gallic infantry more or less have to stand by and wait and see what happens. I don't think this, unless the dice roll mad, there's not going to be a rout here. It'll just be another pushback. So in the end, perhaps the Gallic infantry will turn and fight the Germans in the flank, but at the moment not. here we've gone into skirmish order in advance, but we've stayed outside 40 paces. And yeah, so they won't be firing back. They're rallying obviously to the end of the bound, and we've moved these up slightly to 80 paces, so that will fire and that is an overlap. So that's what we've got going on. I say over here rallying, so we'll just work out some shooting. Right, so it's the shooting on the Germanic light infantry. So we've got 2 units shooting, but we only roll once on the dice. The one that's going to shoot, so let's see what dice roll we can get. Oh, that's a +1. Red 3, green 4. I'm not colourblind. Right, so what have we got shooting? We have got all the front rank, half the rear rank, so that is, because we're in skirmish order, that's 9, that's 14. Same again here, 6 there is 20, that's 23. And plus, now against the light infantry is a basic 1, plus 1 on the dice, basic 2. So we've got 23 at 2, which is 40, 46. Ooh, not good. That is 3 fatigues. So 3 fatigues on the light infantry. That's a waiver test. Let's see. They need a 3 to pass, don't they? That's a 4. So 4, they pass, they are not shaken. Had they failed, they'd become shaken. Right, there we go. So that's not good, but that makes them disordered. So I'll get a disordered marker. A disorder marker. They are now disordered for the 3 fatigues. Okay, right. Let's work out what's next. Right, I think everybody's done their moving, no marches, approaches all done. The Germans have, as you can see, a nice long line of warbands. Over on this flank we've got the routing unit and the routing light infantry. Shaking are rallying, we've just done the shooting. So over here it's the combat, so let's have a look. What do the Germans do? Now we roll for the Germans, and that's a +1. For the Gallic, they need a big plus. Oh god. Down 4. Uh-oh. That's not down 4. Now the B class, so they can negate 1 of those minuses. There's a sub-general, but it's not the first round of combat, so he can't use his magical powers to get rid of. So it's down 4 will be down 3. I think that's going to be it for those. Don't think there'll be enough to get a rout on them. Be a waiver test for a second cause of disorder. So we'll just work that out. Right, let's work those casualties out. Not good for the Gallic. So what the Germans did was a 11 at 4. That gave them 33 on the Gallics, which is 2 casualties per figure, being a 12-man unit, or 2.5 casualties I should say, but not 3. Had they done 3 fatigues, they would have routed them. So that's 2.5 fatigues, another 2.5 to add to them. Oh, yeah. Plus 2.5. So that's now what's that? 5, 6, that's 7.5 fatigues now. They're up to, because they're tied as well. They are, because of the massive -4, which turned out to be a -3 after the minus B is the B class troops can get rid of 1. That now takes them down 9 at -2. And 9 at -2 is 4 casualties on the Germanics, which 4 is nothing. It doesn't do anything to them. You need 6 to get half. So that's twice as many, 2 CPFs, not 3 CPFs. So I think that's twice as many. That's a waiver test to see what happens. So let's roll on the Gallics. Oh, that's a 1. That's shaken. They now become shaken. It's not going good for those Gallic cavalry. So they're now shaken. That's another pushback. They go back another 40 paces. Just push those back there like that. And the Germans, they can go in there. And the second the rank that I expanded will have to now close back in because it can't fight. So that's where that ends up, the end of the bound. If you can see that, yeah. Over here, it's just a hack. They just do a lot of damage. So what have we got? I'll just dice roll for you. Obviously the Gallics don't fight back, just the Germans, and the Germans roll, oh, down 3. Good time to roll down 3. The general can't negate 1 because it's the second round of combat, but the irregular beat can. So down 3 becomes down 2. And that's a basic, what are we talking? So the cavalry against heavy is a basic 3, following up 4. Oh, and the cavalry are shieldless. That's factor 5. But they are the Germans. Let's have a look. Germans. What are they? They're see this? They're tired. Yes, they're tired. Yeah, well. So that's factor 3. That's it. So 3, shieldless 4, following up 5, tired 4. Then down 2 to 2. I think I'll make that right. Right, so that now takes the Gallic cavalry up to 12.5 fatigues there. 9 casualties, impetuously charged, and the tire takes them to 11, and they've just taken 1.5 casualties. So that now takes them up to, as I say, 12.5. But it gets worse because they've now got to get another 2 for the route, because it'll be a second route to do that. So that's going to take them up to 14.5. Once they get over 15, they're totally destroyed. So I'll just write that down. Plus 2, and that takes them to 14.5. Yeah, once a unit becomes destroyed beyond what's that, resembling any coherent body, we take the figures off. We don't casualty remove other than that. Okay, so we'll sort that out and do that move. I'll come back to you. Right, that's the end of the bound. Just moved those up. They just moved up. I didn't show you the dice roll, but they rolled down, so they moved 120 paces. They stay in contact. They can't roll less than that. So the light infantry did a normal 120 move, so they've gone back. End of the bound, the general stays with them till next move. He's rallying them. Nothing really happened in the centre. The lights are disordered. And over here we've got, what have we got? We've got the shaken unit pushed back by the disordered heavy cavalry. So there we go. That's the end of that bound. That's the end of bound 3, isn't it? Yeah. So next, bound 4. We're going to be having a look at see what's next.